We want to have a look at what we call inequalities. Inequalities are pretty similar to equations, except we're going to use either a less than or a greater than or a less than or equal to sign or a greater than or equal to sign. So, and we want to solve these. Now, there's really not much difference between an equation and inequality in solving them. Well, there's only one rule that's different, and we'll see that in a moment. So let's have a look at this example here. We've got 2x plus 3 is less than 6. So we want to see where this is going to be less than 6. So we need to solve it like we would do a normal equation. So we subtract 3 off both sides, and so 2x would be less than 3. Divide by 2. 3 divided by 2 gives you 1.5, so x is going to be less than 1.5. So let's look at the second example, pretty much the same, except this time we've got x divided by 2 minus 3 is less than or equal to 7. So again, we want to get x by itself, so we add 3 to both sides, and then x over 2 is less than or equal to 10, so we multiply it by 2, so that gets rid of the divided by 2 there, and that gives us the 20. So you see the multiplication happening there, and x would be then less than or equal to 20. So again, like, it could have been an equal sign there, it hasn't made much difference. Now if we get going to be dividing or multiplying by negative, this is where it starts to be different. So 5 minus 3x greater than 6. So again, we've got 5, a positive 5. We want to get 3x minus 3x by itself, so we subtract 5. So that will get rid of the 5 on this side, and 6 minus 5 is equal to 1. So minus 3x is greater than 1. So we want to get x by itself again, so we have to divide by negative 3 on both sides. But what we do when we divide by a negative sign, we must reverse our signs. Because if we don't reverse our signs, then we're going to get the wrong set of numbers. Like, it's either going to, this can either be greater than 1/3 or less than 1/3 or equal to 1/3. Which one is it going to be? So if this is going to be greater than 1, 3 times the third gives us the 1. But if it's going to be greater than 1, we have to make sure we're dividing it by a negative. So it's going to change it to be less than. So anything less than minus 1/3 is going to give us an answer here that's correct, and an answer here that's going to be correct. So we've got to make sure we're doing this process. When we reverse our sign, it's going to give us when we divide by a negative, we've got to reverse our sign so we give ourselves the right answer. So if we look at the next one, it's a similar example here. Minus 1/3 is times x is less than 5. We're reversing it so that it's the opposite operation. Multiply it by 3. So it's dividing by 3 basically, because 3 times the third gives us 1. And minus times a minus will give us a positive x. But again, we've got to reverse our sign. So we go from a less than sign to a greater than sign. So when x is greater than minus 15, this statement will be true. If we get a sign wrong and say x is less than 15, when x is less than minus 15, that's not going to give us a correct statement. It's going to give us an incorrect statement. So, and again, we can see ones where we've got brackets, and we have to do the same process again. So expand our brackets, still less than or equal to 6. Make sure we expand it correctly. We get our signs. We subtract the 2, so it's going to cancel that one out. 6 minus 2 gives us the 4. And then our reverse of multiplying by minus 4 is divide by negative 4. So we do 4 divided by negative 4. X is going to be greater than or equal to minus 1. So again, notice how we divided by a negative, we've reversed the sign. So if we multiply by a negative or divide by a negative, change the sign. Otherwise, the sign just stays the same, and we solve it like a normal equation.